Do you like trolls and blackjack? If so, then Objective 4 is definitely for you. This particular challenge is one of those challenges that you will facepalm at how obvious and simple it is to complete once you know how to complete it. As for me, I spent around 2.5 to 3 hours on it before I managed to click in what I needed to do. I actually spent so much time on it that I succeeded at completing it legitimately before I succeeded at actually hacking the challenge. The irony, seriously, the irony in that is... So anyway, basically there was a lot of time spent reading scripts on this particular challenge. At one point I was attempting to intercept the request, and then I had to fix certificates to allow this to occur because I had no idea on my current setup of Burp Suite. Then I was trying to intercept the responses as well as the requests. I was betting all of my money and losing over and over and over and over again. Honestly, I must have gone broke 100 times or more. Like, this is not a good challenge to be trying to brute force. And I wasn't learning from my mistakes either. I was just making the same mistakes over and over. And if something didn't work, I would try it again with a slightly different value. And I would just go broke over and over and over and over again. So eventually I was intercepting and changing the response I received so it looked like I'd won. In fact, I could make it so that anything that was received was whatever I wanted. So I set it to all wildcards at one point, and it just looked like I was winning lots of money until I tried to play again, and it just basically said, sorry, you're actually broke, you lost that last bet. So eventually I had to go off and complete the Logic Chompers game in order to get a clue, and I was getting nothing from the clue as well. I was decoding session parameters as well as managing to restore session parameters so that I could go back to a session that I left where I hadn't gone fully broke, and then just basically go fully broke again, lose all of my money soon after. At one point I broke the underlying application. It didn't cause any kind of 500 errors or anything on the server side, but it did give me an verbose error message that allowed me to see some of the PHP classes that were sitting behind it. Once again, I just kept going broke again and again, and then I managed to win legitimately, and that sort of just shocked me. And then I had to spend time wondering whether I actually confused the system and didn't win legitimately because I was just brute forcing it so much. Eventually, I realized that two of the parameters that I'd been tampering with had restrictions on negative numbers, the bet amount and the CPL, however, the number of lines doesn't. At that point, I felt really stupid, as it's so simple and should have been tried earlier, in that if you put a negative number, the maths that's going on the back end is doing some sort of calculations that mean you will always win even if you lose in that particular bet. So, learn from your mistakes and think simple. Don't always go to the complicated things because sometimes the simple answer is the best one. Honestly, at this point, we are repeating a lot of the same mistakes, so let's throw down some background epic music as I try to overcome my own shortcomings. Yeah, let's go! So yeah, you get the picture. At the end of the day, all you really have to do is intercept the request that you're sending and change the number of columns into a negative value. That will in turn cause the server to do an incomplete negative mathematical calculation with how much you won and give you a good payout. This will result in the message and you completing the objective.